Commander Lyra watched the human from the observation deck, her fingers gripping the railing until her knuckles turned white. The alien vessel, massive and dark, loomed above the planet's surface like a predator circling its prey. Every being on her crew had felt the terror, the instinctive dread that coursed through their veins, warning them to flee. Yet the human stood alone, feet planted firmly on the cracked metal of the landing platform, staring up at the towering form as though it were nothing more than a curious shadow. "Why aren't you frightened, human?" Lyra finally demanded, her voice trembling despite her attempted authority. The question hung in the cold, recycled air of the command room, echoing against steel walls. Her crew shuffled uneasily, eyes darting between their fearless companion and the enormous ship above. The human turned, his face calm, almost serene, and replied in a voice so steady it made her chest tighten. "Because I have nothing to fear that I cannot overcome." Lyra's blood ran cold. It was not the words themselves that terrified her, but the certainty behind them, the calm defiance in the human's eyes. Aliens, beings like her, would have fled, cowered, or begged for mercy. This human did neither. The creature in the sky shifted. Its form was a blur of dark metallic plates, each one bristling with energy that Lyra could feel even from inside the command deck. Its voice, a series of harmonic vibrations rather than sound, filled the air. The translation system struggled, rendering its language into broken syllables. But the meaning was clear: surrender or be destroyed. Her crew expected panic. They expected the human to run or collapse. But instead, he stepped forward, raising his hands in what could only be interpreted as a gesture of calm. "I do not surrender," he said simply, his voice unwavering. A flicker of confusion passed over the alien vessel's projection above them. Lyra noted how the light along its hull pulsed faster, as if it were measuring the human's fear. Yet the human felt none. Lyra swallowed, her mind racing. Humans were unpredictable, yes, but this level of composure in the face of annihilation was unprecedented. Her training screamed at her to pull him back, to insist that he follow orders, but something deeper, something instinctual, stopped her. Humans, she realized, were capable of things beyond her comprehension, their courage sometimes bordering on madness. The creature's tendrils of light shot down toward the landing platform, testing the human's resolve. Sparks and energy arced around his boots, scorching the metal, yet he did not flinch. Each strike seemed calculated, almost playful, as if the human were challenging the alien's understanding of fear itself. "Why?" Lyra's voice was barely a whisper. "Why do you not fear them?" The human's gaze met hers, unshaken. "Because fear is for those who have nothing to defend. I defend the lives of my crew, my people, and my planet. As long as I breathe, I will not be broken." The alien seemed to hesitate, its energy pulsating in irregular bursts. Lyra could see the sensors on its hull scanning, attempting to predict the human's next move. He stepped closer to the edge of the platform, his figure silhouetted against the glow of the alien lights. The air around him shimmered, charged with an invisible force. Yet his expression remained calm, almost detached. Her crew began to murmur, nervous. "Commander, he can't survive this." "Yes, he can," Lyra whispered to herself. She didn't understand how she knew it was true. It was instinct, something primal, connecting her mind to the human's defiance. The alien's voice resonated once more, louder this time, shaking the platform. "You are insignificant, fragile, and doomed. Surrender or be extinguished. Esta." The human tilted his head slightly, examining the energy waves as if they were nothing more than a curious puzzle. Then, without warning, he launched himself forward with an agility that made Lyra's heart skip a beat. His body moved faster than she thought possible, dodging the alien's strikes. Each movement precise, fluid, almost unnatural. He reached the base of the ship, touching its surface with a single hand. Electricity danced around him, yet he gritted his teeth and pressed forward. Lyra watched, horrified and awed as the human's presence seemed to disrupt the alien's systems. Lights flickered across the hull, energy pulses destabilized, and the creature's projection shivered. Her crew's fear turned to disbelief. They had seen technology, weapons, and power beyond comprehension. Yet this human, this single, fragile human stood unbroken. Lyra's heart raced as she realized the truth. Humans were the unknown variable in the universe. They were unpredictable, resilient, and willing to face impossibilities with courage that bordered on defiance. The alien recoiled, pulsing violently before emitting a sound that resonated in the bones of everyone present. It was an attempt at intimidation, a warning of devastation. But the human only looked at it, unflinching. "If you wish to destroy, you will find resistance," he said calmly. Something shifted within the alien vessel. Lyra could feel it, a change in energy, almost like hesitation. The creature's movements slowed, its attacks less precise. The human seized the moment, placing both hands on the hull, closing his eyes, and letting an invisible force surge through him. The alien's energy recoiled, twisting and distorting, till a brilliant flash of light engulfed the platform. When the light faded, the alien ship hovered, silent, as if contemplating its next action. The human stood there, breathing steadily, untouched, unbroken. Lyra stepped forward, awe and fear mingling in her chest. The alien's voice, now quieter, almost reverent, came through. "You are not like the others. You are extraordinary." The human straightened, his eyes meeting the alien's with the same calm resolve. "I am human," he said. "That alone makes me formidable." Lyra felt a shiver run down her spine. The human's words were simple, yet they carried the weight of an entire species' potential. For all their technology, all their calculated strategies, the aliens had underestimated humans. They had not accounted for courage, for ingenuity, for the willingness to face impossible odds and still stand unbroken. The alien retreated, slowly ascending, its form shrinking as it disappeared into the sky. The platform was silent, except for the hum of machinery and the heavy breathing of the crew. Lyra approached the human, unable to hide the mix of fear, respect, and awe in her eyes. "You," she began, but words failed her. "You survived." He looked at her, expression unreadable, and shrugged. "I told you. I have nothing to fear that I cannot overcome." Lyra realized then that the human was not merely brave. He was a symbol of something greater. The fearlessness of one human could challenge an entire alien race, not through raw power alone, but through the indomitable spirit that no machine, no weapon, no cosmic force could crush. The crew gathered around him, their previous fear replaced by awe. They understood now what she had understood in that moment. Humans were more than flesh and bone. They were unpredictable, unyielding, incapable of standing against the universe itself without flinching. Lyra took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her responsibility as commander. She had led humans and aliens alike in battles before, but this moment was different. This human had shown them all what it meant to confront fear and refuse to bow. "Why aren't you frightened, human?" she asked again, softly, almost to herself. He looked at her and smiled faintly, a glimmer of humor in his calm demeanor. "Because fear is for those who doubt themselves. I do not." Her blood ran cold, not from terror, but from understanding. Humans, she realized, were the ultimate force in the galaxy, not because they were the strongest, not because they had the best technology, but because their courage, their defiance, and their spirit could bend even the most powerful adversaries to uncertainty. And in that realization, Lyra knew one truth with absolute clarity: the universe had underestimated humanity. And that was a mistake it would never recover from.